Hello, welcome to today's class. Today we'll be looking at function. Okay, the basics of function first. Then in our next class we'll look at function expression. Then of course we'll look at arrow functions. Okay, but for today we'll be looking at basics of functions. All right, so please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and also to subscribe to this channel. All right, you can also share to your friends and colleagues that would have interest in such language. All right, functions. Um, Basically, functions are used to avoid repetition of code within your programs. Okay, so let's say you want to display a message to a user over and over again. So instead of you to write the code over and over again, what do? You use function. All right. Or let's say, for example, you want to show a nice looking message to your user after they have logged in successfully or logged out successfully. What do? You use function. Okay. You use function. All right. So now let's look at the basic declaration of function. All right. So you when declaring a function, we use the keyword function. Okay, with a name of the function. Now, this name should be what the function is all about. Okay, it should be what the function is all about. So let's say I want to display a nice looking welcome message. So let's use welcome. Okay, now that is the name of the function. All right, now it follows by what? An open and close what? Parenthesis. Now these parentheses have what we call argument. So have what we call parameters. Okay, it can be empty or it can have what? Values. Okay, so we'll look at parameters later on, but let's look at this basic declaration of function. Okay, so then we'll begin with our curly brace. Now inside this function block, there we can now display what this code is about. All right, so let's say want to alert a simple welcome message. Hello John, you are welcome to today's class. All right, now we already have this function. Okay, now we need to see how do we call this function. How do we call this function? To call a function, we simply call it by a name. Let's say, for example, your name is John. How do I call you John? If I don't shout John, you won't answer me, right? Yes, that's the same thing. If I don't call this function by its name, the function will not respond. So how do we call this function? We already know the name, right? The name is welcome. So we'll say welcome with our open and closing what? Parentheses. Now let's see what we have on our browser. Hello, John. You are welcome to today's class. All right? Because we've called the function hello, John. You can call it several times. I can repeat this call on another place. Same thing, same way. So it will still respond and display the same message. All right? You can go ahead and try it and say that. Okay? So you see that this executes the code within the function when this call is being what? Activated or executed. Okay? Now, there's another thing we need to understand when working with functions. It's what we call local variable and outer variables, otherwise known as global variables. Okay? Local variables are variables that are inside a function and is only visible within the function. Example, I would like to display this message here, or let's make it this way. Let's play around. Let's play around this. Okay, let's play around this. So I'm going to say let's user is assigned John. All right. So I want to alert a message. I'm going to alert a message. I'm going to use my backtick. If you don't know what's backtick, please go back to my videos on strings. There I explain in details what backticks are. So I want to use my backticks here. I'm going to say, welcome. I want to say, hello, John. So I'm going to use this. Okay. User, hello, welcome, hello, John. You are welcome to today's class. Now let's see what we have. Okay, let's see what we have. Hello, John. You are welcome to today's class. All right. Now, this variable here, user, is where inside this function, and because it's inside this function, okay, we are it's called what? A local variable. Now, you cannot access a local variable from outside a function or a block scope. Example, let's say I want to access this user, John. So I could come down here and say alert hey, let's use some backtick. Hey, John, let's use backtick. If you don't understand backtick, please go back to my videos on strings. Just simply go back to this video, the channel, the playlist. Go to the playlist, click on the playlist videos there. Then under that playlist, you see the videos on strings. All right. Okay. So, hey, John, are you there? Are you there? There's a question mark, so I'm going to use a question mark here. Now let's see if actually to display that message for us. Hello, John. You're welcome to today's class. Yes, this is the first question. Now let's see. Oops, it's not showing us the second. Why? Let's go to F12. Okay, and let's see. There's a flag error. It's saying what? User is not defined. Where? On line 21. Let's go to line 21 and see what we have there. Okay, this user, you see, it says it's not defined, which means it cannot access this variable here. Okay, which means it cannot what? Access that variable there. So, in a nutshell, we can say that this variable is what? Local to this function, but not visible to anything outside the function. Okay, but if we should come back here and define this variable outside this function, and let's see what we have. Hello, John. You are welcome to today's class. Okay. Hey, John, are you there? Now, what do you observe from this example? You could see that what? It's the function was able to access what? The variable outside the what? Function. Therefore, we can say that A function can access a global variable or outer variable, but you cannot access a local variable from outside what? A function. Is that clear? Yes. So in other words, the function has full access to the outer variable or the global variable, but it cannot what? But you cannot access a local variable from outside a function. Okay, so that is that you should know. You should understand that part. So we'll go over to what? Parameters. But it's advisable to minimize the use of global variables. It's advisable. So now let's look at parameters. Parameters. Parameters are used to pass arbitrary data to a function. Okay, let's take an example. Let's take an example. I'll wipe off this here. So let's say welcome user. All right, and let's message. I'm going to comment out this first. Let's comment out this. Okay, I'm going to comment out this too. I'll just take off this. So now let's say alert. Okay, let's say alert. What did I do put it now? Okay, this is a welcome user message. What should be the message and what should be the user? Okay, let's say let's make it a bit more friendly. Let's say hello backtick. Hello user. Okay. Hello user. Then it should have what? A message, right? Then let's say hello user. Let's give a space. Let's have a message here. Message. Okay. Now this user are our parameters. Okay. Now I want to pass an argument to this parameter. All right. So we'll come down here to our welcome, which is our call to our what? Function here, this function here. So we are calling this function here. So we'll come down here and say, what will be our user now? Let's call it John. What will be our message? Hello, John. How are you today? You today. Okay. Let's put something here. Let's make it a bit more friendly, like a comma. Yes, makes more sense. Now let's see what we have here. Woo! Hello, John. How are you today? Okay, good. That makes more some sense, right? Okay. Now let's see what this code is about. Let's go over the code again one more time. Let's see. Okay, you can see that the variable here are user and what? Message. These are called what? Parameters. Okay, these are called parameters. Now, because they are called parameters, we need to pass an argument to this parameter. So what would be passed into this parameter? So yeah, it's called what? An argument. It's called an argument. It's called an argument. So this is passed to this first parameter. Why this is passed to the second word parameter? Because we use what? A comma to separate them. But in a situation where a second parameter is not given, sorry, second argument is not given, but we have two parameter. What happens? The second parameter will return what? Undefined. Now you see, hello John, undefined. Now it's telling you that what? That this variable here is not defined. What do you want to do with it? Do you want to define it? Okay, so this is what you should know. So to put this in a clear terms, a parameter is a variable that is what? Listed inside the parentheses in the function declaration here. These parentheses in this declaration here, that's a parameter. Okay, while an argument is the value that is passed to this function when it is being called. Example here. So when you're asked, you should be able to know the difference between an argument and what? And a parameter. An argument and a parameter. Okay? An argument and a parameter. Okay? Now, if an argument, if a parameter is not giving an argument, we can just do something like this to make it a bit more friendly. We can say no value given. No value given. Okay? No value given. So I can come down here. Now you see, no value given. Instead of it showing undefined, you want to make it more interactive. Okay? But if a parameter is given, then it will display, sorry, if an argument is given, how are you today? So it will display you the right what value. So this is how you make a function what interactive. You make a function interactive. Okay, this is how you make a function interactive, and to also give a parameter a default what message. Now let's look at how to return a value into a parameter. A function can return a value back into a calling code as a result. Okay, a function can return a value back to a calling code as a result. Let's take for example, let's let's take example, simple example, sum. So I'll just take off everything here. So I'll say function sum two numbers a comma b. Okay, a comma b. So if I return the value a plus b, all right, if I return the value a plus b, then I come down here and I say let results is assigned some 5 3 comma 4. Now alert uh, let's alert results. Okay, what do we have here? We have 7. Okay, so what happens is that while the directive return is met, as the code is running, when it meets the return, what happens? It's the function stops immediately and returns the value back into the calling code and into the calling code. Okay, which is this assigned result, this value that is assigned to this result. All right, so let's take another example again and let's see another example again. Let's see how it works. So say function, sorry, function. Let's use let's say voters age. Okay, we're taking another example. Let's give it a variable age, or a parameter age. Now we want to check a conditional statement. If age, which the user will input later on, we don't know yet, is greater than or equal to what? 18. Is greater than or equal to 18. What should happen? It should return what? True. It should return true. Else, it should return a confirmation. It should return a confirmation. Okay? It should return a confirmation. And the confirmation should be, do you have voter's card? Okay? Do you have voter's card? All right? So now let's give it a prompt. So let's say age. So we'll get the value from the user. Age prompt prompt please enter your age. Okay. Then let's see if our function, okay, if our function if it's true, it should alert what? You are permitted to vote. Else, it should alert, sorry, you are not allowed to vote. Okay, sorry, you're not allowed to vote. Now let's see what we have. There's a prompt, right? So let's say we enter 12. The system has to check. Do you have voter's card and you are 12, you are entering here. If you take okay, well, then of course you're permitted to vote. But if you cancel, you took 12 and you cancel, oh, sorry, you're not allowed to vote. Okay? But what if you are 25? Oh, you are perfectly allowed to vote. Okay? So you see, this is an example of how you use what? The return statement in your code. Okay? So, and please do not mistakenly do this or something like this. It is wrong. Don't do that. It is wrong because JavaScript will see it as two statements entirely. Okay, so when you're returning a statement, it must be on the same line with the return function or keyword. Okay, so please, if you have any question, leave it in the comment section and I'll answer you. Now, our next class, we will look at function expression and arrow functions. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel. Subscribe to this channel and turn on notifications so that you will be notified when we upload new videos. Okay? See you in the next class. Bye bye.